Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto, where we take the markets one leg at a time while keeping the market cycle in mind. And ladies and gentlemen, just thought I'd give a quick update on my kind of Bitcoin wall video the other day. We talked about a head and shoulders pattern, and that is exactly what has come up here on BTC lately. Actually, this neckline is wrong. Let me adjust that. And then if and when we do break down, looks like a target approximately 14.7 if we do break down from this. Now, I do want to start this video out by saying in no way, shape, or form am I married to this head and shoulders call. If Bitcoin reverses higher, we have areas where we're willing to go long, and that's exactly what we talked about in the power hour in the past couple of days. So we have a shorting plan, we have a longing plan, and we know what we're going to do in all given situations. And that's very important because we don't know what's going to happen. While this head and shoulders is implied in the chart, there is a flaw to it. It is the angle of the neckline. It is not, ideally, what I just corrected from would be about the proper neckline. This is a little bit elevated in terms of a neckline. That's implying there's not a tremendous amount of selling pressure pushing us lower, which is accurate. Our Bitcoin selling signals happen on lower volume than they usually do. At the same time, so is the buying pressure. The buying pressure is extremely low right now. So we're at the precipice where they're either going to push it up or they're not going to push it up. And that brings us to the point of today's video is Microstrategy. The weirdo CEO that just decided to flip his company into some kind of a Bitcoin hedge fund. I don't know what the hell that guy's doing, but he took out a $625 million loan. I know he issued bonds, but it's basically a loan. He took out a $650 million loan and is going to go in huge on Bitcoin. That's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit nervous about this head and shoulders that we're talking about right now. So if you remember, first time when Microstrategy actually was buying, they put in a price floor right down here. And if you didn't know, they actually bought over a somewhat extended period of time. And it was right during this time after the pop. Now, something that's really funny here, guess what pattern is here? And guess what pattern we also called during the power hour? A head and shoulders pattern, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very similar chart pattern. Now, did MicroStrategy cause this chart pattern with their initial $50 million purchase in BTC? I really have no idea. I don't know if we can know that. Now, we've been kind of making fun of MicroStrategy a little bit in the fact that, oh, these guys are stupid. They're telegraphing what they're doing to the markets, and that's, someone's going to sell into that. But maybe it's MicroStrategy that's actually a little bit smarter than they seem on the surface. And they're actually causing topping patterns, causing it to dip, then buying a bunch of somewhat low Bitcoin, at least lower than they would have bought when they were initially thinking of buying. So I don't know exactly what's happening, but I do think it's intriguing that you have two head and shoulders patterns right when MicroStrategy is buying. This one played out perfectly. Let's go ahead and draw this one out for you. So if you're not familiar with a head and shoulders pattern, a head and shoulders pattern has a higher high and a lower high. It's a reversal pattern. It implies a neckline via the low between the head and each shoulder. So this point happens to be the shoulder and the low. And then this point right here, or right here, they're really close, happens to be between the head and the right shoulder. The break of the neckline is what you're looking for, and you can apply a target by taking the head down to the neckline in a vertical line and extrapolating that on the breakdown point, which is exactly what we have here. And I'll move that over just a tick. And you can see right there, we almost came down exactly to our head and shoulders measured move. Almost exactly. Is that coincidence? Is that an accident? I really have no idea. All I do know is that we see chart patterns constantly, and head and shoulders pattern is a very valid and when set up correctly, a very reliable chart pattern. And what we have right now is a very reliable head and shoulders pattern. But that being said, like I said a moment ago, with everything given in the market, there's a million different bullish things coming out on Bitcoin. It seems like every single day. Over the weekend, Apple Pay just announced you can buy and hold some cryptocurrencies through Apple Pay. So that's gonna do some good for crypto. Obviously, PayPal coming out a month or so ago saying they're gonna be able to help people buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So the ecosystem for the general public, it's getting easier and easier in terms of barriers to entry. The walls are falling away. You had a gentleman with the government, I forget the Treasury, not the Treasury Secretary, but some guy in the government financial saying that we're not going to block Bitcoin. So you have all these pretty large things that in 2017 would have made this thing go up, 10, 15, 20%. In 2020, I think it's keeping our price afloat. But with the low volumes that we have now, we still are running that risk of a rollover. So we are smack dab in the middle of this head and shoulders pattern. Now, you may say, Randy, it's the right shoulder, it's not the middle. My argument to that would be, hey, you can't know you have a head and shoulders pattern until you have the right shoulder. So this is the middle of it. We haven't rolled over and we haven't broken up. So in my opinion, this is the middle of actionable levels in this head and shoulders pattern. And like I said, in the power hour, we've gone over a couple scenarios for handling this and done extensive talking with members and a lot of education. So it's been a couple of good days in the show. But MicroStrategy, ladies and gentlemen, are they causing these head and shoulders patterns? It's really a unique and interesting thing because we usually don't get any insights into what someone is doing in terms of buying and selling pressure. I do stocks and cryptos. Anytime I see an analyst of any kind, especially from one of the big banks, JP Morgan, Citigroup, any of those guys, anytime I see any of them coming out talking bullish about something, I instantly look at the chart and see if it's topping or I see if it's looking to roll over. But in this case, we have an absolute tremendous amount of bullish news on Bitcoin. It seems like every single day there's another good news item for Bitcoin. Now, I think in the long term, that does us a huge favor. And look, if we break Bitcoin up here, if we go into all-time highs on here, I'm a bull like everybody else. I'm all on board. But what I see in the charts right now is a head and shoulders pattern, a very well-shaped head and shoulders pattern, good volume signature, and there is a high likelihood that we take a tumble here. But hey, in case that doesn't happen, guys, like I said, we have plans to go forward. And like I said, if you're not ready for both scenarios, then you're not really prepared for what's happening in the market. And at some point, it's going to catch you off guard. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video and like it as well if you did enjoy the content. So thank you for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you're interested in some services that I do have to offer, we do have our free Slack chat room, which you can sign up for on the homepage of my website, real-crypto.com. And if you're interested in our world-famous Power Hour, you can go to the same website, click on Services, and there's everything you need right here to get going with the Real Crypto Power Hour, where every single day we have daily newsletter, charts with annotations. We live stream every single day with me, 7 days a week. We have alerts through our Slack chat room, and you also get access to some custom indicators and some tools and things we've put together for new traders and existing experienced traders alike. Well, thanks for joining me today. See you next time.